Good afternoon, this is Simon from the Garden Services, and we're currently on site in Woodley, and we are literally using concrete to create a base for a garden shed. It's quite a rare base, quite simply because of the actual structure. Generally speaking, you might use flags, or you may require to use perhaps some hardcore or some mortar. However, the boys here very carefully lifting a barrel of concrete, getting into a very difficult spot here. See, the three lads are actually heavy material. Obviously health and safety first always prevails. Now then, over the back here you can see the frame was built this morning using 8x8 timber and wooden stakes with a DPM, which is a damp proof membrane, and literally concrete's being poured in as we speak, which will set quite quickly. The purpose of this is to create a much more solid base, because the ground that we're upon at the moment is susceptible to water and drainage issues, etc. Setting on the mortar base, water can come through the actual ground up into the base of the wood and rot. So we do things obviously a little bit differently here with Prestige in regards to getting things completed. Whilst they're doing that, we're also completing some work on this pathway that's cracked, unfortunately, in the middle. I don't know if you can actually see this from this particular point, but again, dot and dab, you can see that the dots and dabs which have come up from the actual base of the slabs here on the concrete literally just basically promoted cracks in the middle of this particular pathway, and that's quite easy to see because of the actual, it's almost like a camber in the middle and a humber and nothing at the side. So as the pressure goes on the sides of the actual stones, it then obviously cracks through the middle. Always obviously clearly working quite heavily and carefully. They're getting in these barrels into the frame. So over here, Spot On Concrete's come in to help us, laying down obviously some plastic protection on the floor, clearly to assist with the waste, and equally so not to cause that much mess. So in here, clearly we've got a lot of water, hardcore, sand, cement and fibres. You can see these fibres just here which help the concrete bond quite nicely. This is obviously on a conveyor belt, and literally as the conveyor belt comes through, here we go. Boys here at the ready here with the waste. You can see the mix, and these fibres help the bond of concrete set. So clearly it won't crack, because obviously with moisture and water, that is obviously very susceptible to cracking. Standing clear of this at the moment. So that's it at the moment. This is Simon at Prestige Garden Services. The sun is out, blue skies above, and we're busy on a Friday. Short week, but we're getting a lot done this week. So should you need any further information from myself, please get in touch. It's Simon with the concrete garden shed, completing some very important work for a client. Good afternoon, have a good day. Oh, they found another route. An easier route, this one, boys. Hi Sam, how are you? Hope you're well. Watching clearly. In she goes. And obviously once that's actually full, should I say, the boys will then use a screen here, which will then go on the top and level everything. It will force actually water up from the surface because of the weight, and with that you'll need probably a day or two to set, and then you've got clearly a wonderful solid concrete base which has obviously been levelled with a 3x2 wood on a good base. So then we can move that over onto the actual structure. Now then, just before I go, you can also see a problem here, which is obviously the fence. The fence has obviously gone over in the wind, rot, and also water. The rot literally at the moment, fortunately this fence has had it, and the only support it has got at the moment is actually from the garden shed. So the second piece of work that will be completed on this site will be to remove 22 meters worth of palings and posts from here out and off, and reset the posts. These are 8-foot posts with palings and braces on effectively, and they'll go once this has been set. The issue obviously with the wood is that water eventually gets into the posts, into the concrete down below, and causes it to rot, and therefore fortunately surgery has to be completed and new fencings need to be implemented. So there you go, bit of information on Friday morning from Simon at Prestige. I hope you're well and have a good day. Waiting for the third or fourth bucket to come through now. Engaging, isn't it? These are the fibres it's talking about. I'll just grab a few of those. These are kind of almost like nylon, and they just assist with the actual setting of the concrete. Water. Water on, add in the mix. Move this down.
I'll go around there then and wait here.
There you go. Right guys, I'm off. I'll see you soon.
Showering like 2 banners off the truck.